Hey, hope everybody's doing well. I've been back from vacation for one, two, three, 4 days or so. Kind of disoriented, not knowing what day of the week it is. It's actually Saturday evening. It's been an exciting Saturday night here at the house alone. But that's okay. Get to play with my guitars. I was talking to my guitar instructor a couple of weeks ago, actually, while I was on vacation. We got in a guitar lesson, and I was using my little headless that I use for travel guitars. And he commented that, in the last 3 lessons, I had been playing a different guitar every time. And he was absolutely right. I had my Yamaha Revstar one time. I had my Telecaster another time, and then I had that headless the time on vacation. And he asked me, do I take some time to adjust when I switch guitars? And I got to thinking about it, and I absolutely do. Not a real long time, but there's definitely an adjustment period, and it can be pretty frustrating sometimes. And so he encouraged me to pick one guitar to practice with for a while and try not to switch it up a lot. And, we talked about it some more, and I get, the guys that are really good, the professional guitarists, the session guys, the traveling musicians can probably pick up pretty much any guitar and adapt to it pretty quickly. But that's not me. I'm still learning slowly, and I think some consistency would probably benefit my practice a lot more than trying to adapt to different guitars all the time. So then I got to thinking, okay, if I had to pick just one guitar to practice on for a while, what would it be? And I've got way too many guitars. I've got multiple Strats, I've got Tellys, I've got a couple of Gretches, I've got those inexpensive, what are they, West Creek guitars, which are really cool. I've got 3 Gibson Les Pauls, 2 classics, and a studio. I've got a lot of guitars. I've got some really nice guitars. But I got to thinking about what would be the one that's kind of a good combination of everything and is easy to play, and would do pretty much whatever I wanted to do. And it would just about have to be my Yamaha Revstar. And I'll talk about why a little bit. I like my Les Pauls, but they're heavy as hell. Their bodies are quite a bit thicker than that Revstar. There's no cutaways. I think one of them is 9 pounds. That gold top with the Bigsby on it's 10 pounds. They're chunks. I love my Telecasters. Like the look of a Tele. I like the rawness of a Telecaster. But if I'm being honest, the 24 3/4 inch scale on a Gibson and a 12-inch fretboard radius is just easier for me to play on than that Telecaster. So I decided the Revstar would be the one I'm going to kind of commit to for a while. But then I thought, that Revstar seems like just almost the perfect guitar, and that bluish turquoise looking one that I've got is the cheapest one they make. And I was looking online, and Sweetwater had a sale on the next level up. And I thought, man, I'd really like to have one of those with the P90s. So we're going to look at that today. I got this. Actually came in the day before I got back from vacation, so I had something fun to come back to. And it came with this really nice gig bag. pretty good, heavy, thick foam padding. Nice heavy-duty zippers. Got a couple of pockets up front. It's got the great padding on the shoulder straps. I really like that. I'm not a huge fan of hard cases anymore because they seem to just take up space. And if I need to transport a guitar, a gig bag works better than just about anything in my opinion. So this is what I got. I liked this natural wood finish. This is called the, God, I don't remember, is it Honey Burst? I'll look it up, I can't remember. They make a black one, a white one. They've got like a dark red one. I don't remember what they call it either. But this is the one I like because it shows more of the wood. These are chambered mahogany bodies. Maple cap. Let's see, I've got my specs up here. Maple top, chambered mahogany body, polyurethane finish, 3-piece mahogany neck with carbon reinforcement. It's a set neck. Really nice job on all the joints. This is a kind of a flawlessly made guitar. Satin finish on the back of the neck, which I really appreciate. Made in Indonesia. The official model number is the RSS02T. Unmarked, just their die-cast tuners. These tuners are really smooth. They look like the exact same tuners that are on that cheaper model Yamaha that I've got, but these seem to be a little bit smoother, maybe just because they're new. It's got a rosewood fretboard, 12-inch radius. I kind of like these fret markers on this one. The other one I've got just got the dots. This one has a bound neck, bound body, plastic nut, which I don't have an issue with as long as it's cut right. I don't care necessarily what it's made out of. It's 42 millimeter width nut. I'll measure this, but it says it's between 21 and 23.9 millimeters thickness at the first fret. We'll check and see what it actually measures. This one has two P90 style pickups. They can't really call them P90s because they're not Gibsons, but they're single coil Alnico 5 pickups. It's got, let me turn this around a little bit here. It's got a 5-way switch. And I couldn't figure out why you would need a 5-way switch with two P90s. Position 2 and position 4 have what Yamaha calls a phase shift, which creates kind of an in-between, slightly out of phase sound, which is pretty cool. In the middle, that middle position gives you both P90s in kind of a reverse wound humbucking effect, so it gets real quiet in this third position. And then, of course, position 1 is the bridge, and position 5 is the neck pickup. These are not as noisy, from what I can tell, as that Gibson gold top that I've got with P90s. It's got a push-pull on the tone, which they call a passive boost. They say it gives an overwound effect with darker highs and an increase in mids and lows. So between the push-pull and a 5-way switch, you've got 10 different tone variations you can get out of this guitar. So I think if I can't get the tone I'm looking for out of that, then there's probably something wrong with me and not the guitar. I like, and one of the reasons I wanted the P90, besides the fact that I like P90s, I kind of dig this tailpiece. They call it a racing tailpiece. It's got 4 bolts connecting it to the body. The strings just kind of slip in underneath and then go over the Tune-O-Matic bridge. I like the way it looks. I mean, it's just purely aesthetic probably, but I like the way it looks. Got 10.5 millimeter string spacing up here at the bridge. 3-ply cream pick guard. It comes with Elixir 10 to 46 strings. I normally like Diodario 9 to 42s, but these seem to be good strings, so I'm not gonna jump the gun swapping anything out. I haven't touched the setup on this guitar. It is just like it was when I pulled it out of the box, other than I tuned it up, and it was pretty close to in tune. I haven't checked any of the pickup specs. We'll do that here in a minute. I haven't checked the string height. The nut seems to be cut really well. I will probably fine tune it a little bit to my liking, but right out of the box, it was more than playable. Let's see what we've got here at the 12th fret. Just under 2 millimeters on that low E string. I never know whether to call that the low E or the high E. It's higher when it's sitting in your lap, but it's the low E. The high E string is at 1.68, so about 1.7 millimeters. So that's a pretty standard, I would say, factory setup. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I will say the frets felt a little rough on bends when I first started playing it, but that lasted about 10 minutes and the strings smoothed them right up. I haven't felt any problem since then. No sharp fret ends at all. You could rub your junk across that, and I don't think you'd have any problems whatsoever. I just would rather you didn't. Let's see what we've got up here at the nut. So 0.65 millimeters. String height at the first fret. I do like it a little lower than that. I like to be down around 0.5 or under. I've said before, you got to be careful though. It's easy to go too low and screw up your nut. So I'll work on that a little bit, get it down where I want it. I may drop the action up here just a little bit. The neck was pretty damn straight right out of the box. I haven't adjusted the truss rod. I don't think I need to. Got a lot of room I can go down on this bridge here, so I shouldn't have any problem dropping the string height down. Let's check those. Trying to find my little plug. There we go. Let's check the resistance and inductance on these pickups. So that's the neck pickup. We're looking at 8 kilo ohm resistance. Wow. 7.36 Henry's inductance. That's pretty high. Let's do the pull, see what we get. I don't have any idea what happened there, but it is not reading at all. That's the passive boost. Let's see what the resistance goes down to 2.1 when I pull that passive boost switch. Very interesting. So let's go to the bridge, see what we've got. 8.1. They seem to be pretty closely matched pickups. Let's go to the inductance, 6.79, maybe a little less inductance than in that neck pickup. Let's pull that passive switch. I don't know, it's jumping up to like 14 or 15 and then it just goes away. I'm not sure what's going on there. Go to the middle. We're looking at 374 Henrys. And we should be around 4, yeah, in the middle position. Let's go to that position 2. 8.1. I really can't figure out what they're doing with this switching. And 8.0 there. Very, very interesting. We'll pull that back cover off and see what's going on in there. See if we can identify anything. They put plenty of screws in this. They didn't want it coming off. Definitely some shielding on the back of this cover plate and some shielding paint inside the cavity. There are some capacitors right here on the switch, which is pretty interesting. That's where they're doing something with that position 2 and 4. That's the volume. Nothing special going on there that I can tell. And then that's the push-pull. And that, I don't know. That's where their passive boost is coming from. Let's try to get closer. I'm not even sure what that is. It looks like a little transformer of some sort. Very interesting. That's definitely coming off of the push-pull pot. So when you pull that, it's activating this, whatever it is, some type of a capacitor or transistor. I don't know. I'm not an electronics expert. I don't see any parts in here that I can personally service. Looks like there's a treble bleed. It's kind of hard to see, and it's teeny tiny little disc capacitor with a little tiny resistor in the middle on that volume pot. Pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds, luckily, so I don't see the need to change anything in there, which is good because I wouldn't know where to start. I may try to research a little more and figure out what Yamaha's doing with that passive boost. All of the ones on Sweetwater weighed right around 8 pounds. Got this strap on here, so that I'm sure adds a couple of ounces. Let's see. See what we've got here. Yeah, that shows 8 pounds, 3.7 ounces. I think Sweetwater had this one listed at 7 pounds, 14 ounces, something like that. So that's probably about right if that strap wasn't on there at all. Yeah, just resting the strap on the table drops it down pretty close to 8. So yeah, this one's supposed to be 714. It was the lightest one they had, and I'm a fan of light guitars. So, you know, we're looking at a good pound lighter than my lightest Les Paul. It's got nice arm carve right here. It's got a good belly carve on the back. It's a very comfortable guitar. It's a comfortable guitar to hold. It's a comfortable guitar to play at 12-inch radius, jumbo frets, pretty comfortable C neck profile. It obviously gets a little thicker up here, but it's not a huge variation from there to there. That's what I was gonna check. Let's see if we can measure the thickness of this neck. That's 0.89 millimeters. No, that was inches. 22.7 millimeters. 22.7. So that's within the range that they said it was supposed to be. Up here, we are at 25.14 inches. That's 0.989. So almost an inch thick at the 12th fret. Pretty comfortable. It's middle of the road. It's not thin. It's not thick. Just kind of right in the middle. While I've got those strings loose, I'm going to loosen up the other side, oil this fretboard. I'm going to file this nut down just a little bit more, and I'll take it upstairs and plug it in. We'll try to get some sound out of it. All right, got it tuned up and back upstairs. That nut didn't need much filing, and I really want to stress it was good the way it was. I just like it a little lower. I've got a tendency to press too hard anyway, and with jumbo frets, it's really easy to pull strings sharp, and so the lower I can get that nut cut without bottoming out on the first fret, the better off for me. If you've got a lighter touch, it would have been just fine. Playing through this Mojo Tone Princeton reverb amp. I do not have the reverb on the amp at all, because it's kind of a noisy reverb. Not really, but there's a little bit of a buzz. So I've got my NuX Atlantic with a little bit of reverb there, just because I like it. I prefer playing with a little bit of reverb. That's the only effect I've got going on. I'm in the middle position right now. Volume's up. We're on 3 on that reverb, which is a good like bedroom, living room volume. It's pretty dead quiet, and this is typically a pretty noisy electrical room, so the humbucking feature of both pickups being activated works really well. If I go to the bridge, I'm sure you can hear some of that buzz there. Go to the neck, same thing, a little bit of buzz. Position 2, still some buzz, but it cuts out some of the high frequencies of that buzz. And position 4 does the same thing. In the neck position with this passive boost on, not the bridge position with this passive boost on, it does the same thing. It cuts out some of the higher frequencies of that noise. Same thing happens in position 2, position 4, and position 5. Middle position still quiet. I looked a little bit more into this passive boost circuit, and from what I can tell, that is a transformer. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's obviously boosting the signal some. I think it does it at a loss of clarity.
You definitely lose some of the highs and you lose some of the clarity, but it's pushing the amp a little harder. I'm just on 3, and you can almost get a little like edge of breakup distortion if you're picking hard enough with that passive boost on. Pretty interesting. This is middle position, passive boost off, volume and tone all the way up. Just strum a G chord and see. Pretty nice articulation, good lows, and some good articulation in the highs. Go to the bridge pickup. And of course, where you strum makes a huge difference. We'll go to the neck. In that position 2, best, I still don't know what it's doing for sure, but best I can tell, it's slightly out of phase, but it's a little higher. It sounds like the bridge is the dominant pickup. And then when you go to position 4, it's that same slightly out of phase sound, but it sounds like the neck pickup is dominant. I don't know what it's doing, but that's the best way I know to explain it. So we'll go to the bridge, turn the passive boost on. You can definitely tell it loses some of the articulation, but it drives the amp a little harder. So this is the neck with the boost off, neck with the boost on. Definitely darker. I could see maybe wanting to play in position 2 or 4 with that boost on. I don't really know that I need the boost all that much. I've got, probably get a lot out of a boost pedal, or maybe an EQ with a little bit of a boost on it. Might do some of the same thing. I don't play enough with other people to need a lot of tone variety. I'm typically playing by myself, and so my goal is something that sounds good here by itself and doesn't have a lot of noise associated with it. So that middle position is typically the trick for me. Anyway, hopefully that gives you an idea of what the tone switch does, what the passive boost does. I'm really happy with this guitar. I'm really happy with the way it plays. I'm very impressed with the way it was set up and played right out of the box. I bought it from Sweetwater, so of course they do the inspection, but they don't do anything but look at it. They don't do the setup. They don't adjust the string height. They don't adjust the neck relief. They don't do any of that. They're just checking it, which is good. That's good to have eyeballs on it. So all the setup, man, the strings are wound great. We've got 3 winds on that E and A string. Looks like 3 winds on that D string, and then probably 4, somewhere between 4 and 6 winds on these smaller strings, which is just ideal for something like this. I've never played elixir strings. These feel pretty good. I'm used to playing 9s, but these seem to seem to work really well in this guitar. And I've heard people say that the shorter scale guitars seem to play a little bit better with 10s. So I'll probably leave 10s on it. When it's time to change strings, I've got some Diodario 10s I'll put on here. I like it. I did drop the action down just a little bit. We're at 1.5 now on the 12th fret and 1.25 millimeters on the high E on the 12th fret. It's a pretty guitar to me. The aesthetics matter to me. I like a guitar that looks nice. It's comfortable. It sets well in my lap. My arm fits well over it. The neck is comfortable. If I had to narrow myself down to just one guitar, this would certainly work. I don't want to do that. I have no desire to get rid of my other guitars. I like all of them. But this seems to be just a universal tool that could do pretty much anything I could ever need to do. At a reasonably affordable price. I think they're $8.29 regularly on Sweetwater, something like that. This one was cheaper. It was on sale. That sale's over. I think it ended $12.31. But I'm sure they'll go on sale again various places. I think they have a customer return on Zounds, however you say it, for even cheaper. That might be a good option if somebody really wanted one and didn't want to pay full price. I like it. I damn sure didn't need another guitar, but the more I thought about what would be the one guitar that if I was going to play one guitar for an extended period of time, which one would it be? And it was going to be the Revstar. And now that I've got this one, it's going to be this Revstar. Hope everybody had a good Christmas, had a good New Year. Off to a cold start here in 2025 in Oklahoma. It's going to get colder throughout the day tomorrow and then be below freezing, I think, all day Monday and Monday night. So excited for that. You guys take care. Let me know what you think about this. Have a good day.